The truth about these hospitals, I live in this neighborhood. I've been here for about 10 years. We all saw the progress of the hospital in construction, and we're excited as residents in the neighborhood that development is finally going to come and meet us, and we'll no longer have to be congested and having to go all the way down to Baradiko to use medical facilities. But unfortunately, the the design was completed, the building was constructed, and we saw them bring in equipment like beds, ambulances, and other things. And we're all excited that the youths in the community, will get employed and to bring about activities and social life to the environment here. But unfortunately, after the launching of the hospital, Mr. President was here. At the same time, they also commissioned the CNG buses. After then, we've not had any meaningful progress here. We observed subsequently that people came and took away the ambulances and some of the machines and equipment that are supposed to make the hospital functional. So it's my own cry and my plea to the government to look into this issue and find a way to get this hospital up and running for the well-being of the citizens. This was a project that we are aware was kicked off, I think during, if I'm not mistaken, during Namadi Sambo's time, but was completed mostly under Governor El-Rufai's tenure. And seeing a governor who came into power, we're excited that he's about to complete the project which his predecessor has started, or will I say his mentee. But unfortunately, along the way, we experienced complete silence on their own part. I cannot really tell what the challenge is, but I believe that platforms like this and people like you are responsible to let the government know where they are lacking and see to it that they do the needful at the right time, so it can be functional and also serve as a what do I say, as a health hub in Kaduna, because this is a very massive project. All things being equal, this should employ a lot of staffs and also be responsible for taking care of a lot of sick patients we have in Kaduna State. So I would say I'm disappointed in the government so far, but I want to believe that they should have their reasons for the delay, and I believe that in due time they are going to do the needful.
It would be the first Nigerian hospital that treats cancer. It was designed to have both intensive and special care units. Only very few Nigerian hospitals can boast of this, but it may just never happen. Billions of naira was wasted on the project. The structure was built very fine and lovely. President Tinubu commissioned it. Unfortunately, the fine building has now been abandoned for grasshoppers, and insects. The only human sighted in the building is a gateman who was possibly placed there to stop people from gaining access into the empty compound. The date was June 19th, 2025. Millennium Square, Kaduna was the venue. Tinubu, in full presidential entourage, landed in Kaduna to commission the Kaduna Millennium City Hospital, which was renamed after him, now called the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Specialist Hospital. Well, there is nothing specialist about the hospital except that it is a good site for Kaduna residents to glance at and pass. Tinubu didn't travel alone to Kaduna to commission the hospital. Nearly the entire APC caucus flooded the ancient city that day. Amongst them are very interesting names. Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State; Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos; Biodun Oyebanji, the governor of Ekiti; and Monday Okwebolo, the man who battles to pronounce figures, the governor of Edo State. Others were the APC national leaders, governors, senators. Plenty of political aides also flew in the entourage to Kaduna to join Tinubu for the expensive commissioning. They were received by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, and even the Emir of Zazzau, Ahmed Nuhu Bamali. So one can say that the entire APC squad was present at the event. Millions of taxpayers' money was wasted in a reckless manner, all in the name of commissioning. Eventually, all was in vain. The Kaduna Millennium City Hospital has endured a stretch of construction processes. Since it was conceived in 2009, nearly every government in the state has showed interest and spent hugely on the project. Its history traces to 2009 when former Vice President Mohammed Namadi Sambo was the governor of the state. It is therefore regarded as Namadi Sambo's brainchild. He developed the concept and the execution plan in 2009 towards the end of his tenure as governor of Kaduna with the hopes that he would execute it in his second term. But Goodluck Jonathan chose him as his running mate in 2010, hence he left the project for his successor. The late Patrick Yakowa, who succeeded Namadi Sambo, sought to take up the project. Unfortunately, he died in 2012 and the project execution stalled. The death of Patrick Yakowa brought Mukhtar Ramalan Yero, his deputy, to power. He completed the tenure from 2012 to 2015. Even though his tenure was short, 3 years period, Yero made efforts, though without success, to revive the hospital. He secured a long-term, low-interest loan from the Islamic Development Bank, ISDB, at the tune of $141 million. $43.13 million from the loan was earmarked for the completion of the project. Unfortunately, he failed at it. The immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai, came into power in 2015 and launched his plans to complete the project, but still failed. Although El-Rufai brought the project to over 80% completion before leaving office, the project failed to come alive. It looked very likely that the project was a mere conduit pipe for the governors to siphon public funds. The current governor, Uba Sani, showed this in his desperate rush to pump money into the project without due problem assessment and actual implementation plan. Opposition voices dissented. Professionals from the state who are familiar with the project's history kicked against the sudden rush too. Yet, the governor was adamant. Governor Uba Sani and his team moved with the plans to complete the almost completed hospital. The governor voted funds from the state's healthcare budget amounting to the tune of 71 billion naira to complete the project. There was also the hospital equipment donation from World Medical Relief USA worth 10 billion naira, which the state government reportedly channeled to the project. Finally, on June 19, 2025, the government of Kaduna announced that the project was ready for commissioning and that the hospital had begun operation. It doesn't cause any surprise at all that the hospital was renamed Bola Tinubu Specialist Hospital after the Nigerian president. Well, there are confirmed reports that Tinubu gifted the governor billions of naira for the kind of gesture of immortalizing him with the hospital. The government of Kaduna assured that the hospital was open to the public from the date of commissioning and had begun full operation. However, that assurance is a big lie. Pre-Life team was at the hospital earlier this month and the hospital was totally deserted. No human being was seen in sight except a gateman guarding the empty buildings. This is another government project lying desolate in waste. Billions of naira that could have been used to better the poor lives of Kaduna indigenes were wasted on a white elephant project that only enriched the pockets of the governor and his cohorts.
So as we have this hospital now in our area, we have many things that we don't have for inside. First thing like ambulance, we have hospital for here, no ambulance, even one. In fact, even the road where they do for here, see water no dey pass. Even the culvert safe wey dey there, e no good. So what we can say is we are calling for government now to check of us, because we have many things more than this one sef. Since that day wey president come here, they never open am up to now. No any patient, no any patient wey come. Even before, we have 5 ambulance for inside. Once he came, they don pack am all comot. So the only advice I can advise my president is that may he continue the check off our leaders wey dey here, because all the problem wey we have is from them. So that's the only thing I can say.
Free Life Media.